Roar is probably one of the most dangerous movies ever made that still hasn't been talked about. Yeah, sure, some YouTubers bring it up from time to time, but it doesn't get the attention it deserves, even though it's how I heard about it in the first place. I think out of all the movies I binge-watched during the quarantine, this one's probably the most unique. Roar, formerly called Lions, Lions, and More Lions, was released in 1981. The movie's bad. It's not just bad, I don't even think you would call it so bad it's good. I think that in a way, it transcends that, and it didn't do well financially. The main star of the film consists of Tippi Hedren, from the iconic movies of Birds, and her husband at the time, Noel Marshall. They are also the creators of this atrocity too. It also stars their real-life children, which includes Melanie Griffith, who would have a pretty lengthy career in acting after this. It also starred a dozen lions. The main plot, what little there is, involves the mother and the children being trapped in a house filled with lions, while the father does something. The father is supposed to be a trained lion tamer who lives with all these lions as a way to study their behavior or something like that. You could tell how professional he is by how the lions tramp all over him. And the majority of the movie is a family hiding from these killer lions, where they're hiding in the fridge and the closets, with death feeling like a sudden movement away. Now, if you've seen Tiger King, then you probably understand just how dangerous big cats can be, even with professionals involved. And this movie is about as dangerous as it looks. Even knowing the sloppy production doesn't make things any better. A lot of the cast and crew were seriously injured in the making of this movie. Some of the more infamous cases includes one of the crew members having stitches at the back of his head, and Melanie Griffith getting her fucking face clawed. The actors even had to use safe words in order to let the director know if things went too far. And you could actually hear it in the movie.
No! No, no!
However, thankfully it's just stitches. No one had their arm ripped off or anything like that, thank goodness. And there was one actor who didn't get physically scarred, partially because he's the only one with common sense and kept his distance between the lions. But despite that, there are some scenes where the lions get too close to him. And it's not just lions that are in the movie. There's lions, tigers, panthers, and a fucking elephant that fucks their boat up. I'm surprised there's no bears in this movie. Better save that one for Milo Notice. There's also zebras, but the lions eat it, so... There's a scene where the elephant picks up the mom character and breaks one of her legs. It's pretty messed up how this isn't her first movie where she's attacked by animals. Even in Birds, she was attacked by actual birds, and well, the story involved in that is pretty messed up too. Now granted, there are some scenes that are clearly staged and fake, but they're usually pretty obvious to spot. Now remember when I made the comment about there being very little plot? I wasn't being hyperbolic, because there really isn't a concise narrative. Every movie has certain story beats, which include some subplots connecting with little scenes returning later in the movie. Typical crafting of the script. The main exception being if the movie is really poorly made, like The Room for example. Now there are some scenes that focus away from the lions to try to form a narrative, but they serve very little impact. They set up some antagonists, like the poachers, and one of the lions specifically is built up to be one of the alphas, but at some point, none of that really matters. They both play very little into the movie, and it's really kinda hard to make one lion intimidating when the rest are equally as intimidating. Hell, for all we know, the lion was probably in the movie already, and the director didn't put fake blood on him. There were very few professionals involved in this movie, due to budget reasons. I think maybe there were going to be more scenes filmed to have a proper plot, but the house the movie took place in was destroyed. So I guess they'll have to stick with all the footage of the family running for their lives. Now, while the actors in the movies are safe, well, kind of. Now, thankfully, no humans were killed in the movie. However, there was one accidental death with one of the lions, where one of the lions ran away from the production and was shot by an asshole poacher, which is pretty unfortunate to say the least. It was approved by the American Humane Association. The whole thing feels like The Room, but really extreme. And I'm gonna be honest, this is probably one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. And I think at some point, it was actually marketed as such in one country. It's like an actual found footage movie. Only instead of the characters being in danger, it's the fucking actors who are. These actors were in real danger. The movie will make you cringe. Not in the, wow, that was really embarrassing kind of way, but the more, this will make you very uncomfortable. Or maybe a bit of both. The movie is made by a rich couple with a very poor understanding of what they were getting themselves into. A year later after this movie was released, the couple got a divorce. I hate to sound like a dick, but that makes perfect sense. This movie has bad idea written all over it. There's a message I think this movie wanted to make. Whatever it was, it failed at it. I give Roar a perfect 5 out of 5 stars. This movie is peak trash, and it should have an honorary spot in horror, with the likes of The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is that giving it too much credit? Probably. But it produced just as much fear, if not more. Oh, speaking of which, the husband also produced the first Exorcist movie. I definitely recommend this film. It is one of the most uncomfortable movies I've ever seen in my life. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy some of my other reviews that are more dumber than this one. And remember to wash your hands and don't touch anyone. Hope to see you soon.